Someone has to start. Yep. You've got to be that change, especially if that's not how you were raised. I'm very, very blessed that, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I grew up with a dad with that mentality of, even if he didn't have a lot of money at the time, he had the mentality of,
Yep.
you make your dreams come true and you are the one in control of your destiny. Don't work to build someone else's dreams. What's your vision for life? And let's
Yep.
make that come to fruition, because betting on yourself is truly the only way that you're actually going to win in life.
Hey there, do you want to skip the trial and error in real estate investing? Visit my website, dwanderful.com. I will show you how to do double your income in no time at all. A broke single mom fired from Denny's becomes America's most sought after real estate investor. How does that happen? Well, that's me, Dwan Bent Twyford, aka Dwanderful. But it doesn't stop there. I, along with some amazing guests, are going to teach you everything there is to know about investing. Listen, success is not exclusive. I can teach you, you can have it too. I can share with you. So I want you to join me for season 5 of the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. Cheers. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. I'm your host, Dwan Bent Twyford. I'm America's most sought after real estate investor. And I am so excited to have you here for another episode. I have an amazing guest today, Isabel Guarino. I said it right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. I had to phonetically spell that last name out there. And she's going to share some really great information with us. If you are new to me or to Dwanderful, you can go to dwanderful.com, DWANDERFUL.com. I took Dwan and Wonderful and I made a new word. And our motto at Dwanderful is people before profits. So if that is something that resonates with you, you're at the right place, it's the right time. Today we're your girls and you're going to have fun with us. So, Isabel, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited. You're so pretty.
Oh, thank you. I love the we're matching with our purples. So it's
We're
good.
all vibey today. I know. So you have the black hair and the purple, and I'm the opposite.
There we
And
go.
everyone that knows me knows I don't ever. I'm all right, guys. I'm actually gonna put some gray in my hair. Y'all been knowing me for a long time. It's a big step. That's a big step.
I love-
So we like to start off with a toast. We're trying to
Yes.
hydronate this water, but I think it's taking a little longer, so I have a backup. So, so cheers,
Cheers.
and you guys get a drink. Cheers. Everyone take a drink. Everyone take a deep breath and just relax. Clear your mind of all the stuff that you have going on and just tune in with us and have some fun. Because you know me, you know we're going to have a good time today. Okay, so we kind of just throw you straight into the wolves a little bit.
Yeah.
So what I'd like for you to do is just like in like a sentence or two,
Yeah.
just tell us what you do and how we can get a hold of you. And then I have all these super fun questions, and we're just going to talk and chat and get to know each other. And I like to be as conversational as possible. So it's like if someone was sitting with us and they were getting to know both of us, we'd all just be sitting around having a drink and getting to know each other.
I love it. I love it. Well,
I
I'm
do too.
Isabel. Yes, as you guys know, and I got the beautiful introduction. I appreciate that. Currently, I operate and own residential assisted living homes, and I teach other real estate investors exactly how to do that. So we like to, it's perfect for, your precipice of this show in that we focus on doing good and doing well, cash flowing, but helping our senior community. And it's a really beautiful blend of those two things. And how you can reach out to us is by finding us on any of the social medias at RAL Academy or going to RAL101.com. You can grab a free book, webinar, download anything you want there, or schedule a call with me or the team.
Okay, RAL101.com
Got
and
it.
RAL Academy everywhere on social media.
Yep.
I will also start following you today. I always like to they send me bios and stuff. No, no, no. I said, I just like to get to know people. Let me just like talk and chat and find out and see what happens. So you work with residential assisted living.
Yep, exactly.
And so what does that mean, residential assisted living, for a person that's really new? And they're
Yeah.
like, well, there's assisted living, there's nursing homes, there's this. Like, what is in the slice of that? What is that?
Yeah, so we focus on basically assisted living, but it's in a regular residential home. So a single family home. And when I say that, I don't mean a 3-bed, 2-bath. I mean a luxury upscale home in a really nice part of town. Our homes that we own and operate, they're 10-bedroom, 10-bath homes, but they're in
Wow.
regular residential neighborhoods, and they house 10 seniors who need help with activities of daily living. So they need help with 24/7 care. So there's caregivers there, there's an administrator there, and my role that I play is I own the real estate and operate the business. So down to about 5 hours a week of running those businesses, but it's a great opportunity to provide housing for seniors that's not in the big commercial big box setting that we all fear going into.
We do. My mom lives in it used to be a women's boarding home from the 1920s. It was a women's boarding home, and they turned it into, I guess it's like assisted, like they have their own apartments.
Okay.
Then they have like a big cafeteria, and they have all the games and the stuff, and a bus that takes them places. So they redid this place. It was 1920, like a board, like a women's day would go
Yeah.
stay at a boarding home. Because
Yeah.
they couldn't, in the 20s and 30s, like, women couldn't just, like, travel,
Yeah.
and it is so beautiful. It's antique, it's so beautiful, she loves it. There's only, like, 100 people that live there. I tell you, she's like, "Oh my god," because it's not like a big giant
Right.
facility, like, you pull in and it looks like it's a big house,
Yeah.
and you walk in, it feels like it's somebody's house.
I love that. I love that. If she's doing, coming and going and in her own apartment style, it may
Oh,
be
yeah.
more considered independent living.
I think it
Um,
is. I think it's just senior housing.
yeah.
Is what she's at senior housing, but they always have a nurse on staff. So
Awesome.
if somebody gets sick or whatever, they're
Yep.
coming in. I think hers is just like independent living for seniors, but it's really beautiful.
Yeah. Amazing. Good. I'm glad she's having a good experience because
Oh
I do not hear about many good experiences in larger facilities. So I'm so glad she's having a great time.
yeah, she loves it. They clean your room every day. They wash all your clothes. They cook all your meals. They make
Yep.
your bed. It's like,
Yep.
mom, it's like you have maid service. I would live there. They cook all your meals. Like I would literally live there. I wouldn't have to do anything. Just get up
Yep.
and hang out.
There you go.
So I always thought, it's funny, my husband and I talked about having like some senior living. I'm like, the people that are seniors now were like young in the 60s.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like they should have like the Rolling Stones playing, and they should all be like smoking weed and being hippies again in their old
Yep.
age.
Yep. And you know what? We always joke that if you want to open a niche home that focuses on anything, right? Whether it's a type of music, whether it's, all female or whatever you want, you can absolutely do that. Niche homes go a really long way. We've got a home here in Arizona. It's not one we own and operate, but it's another care home called Shalom Home.
Oh, there
And
you go.
so cute. They focus on the Jewish population. We've got another one that's called Rainbow Orchard, I think, and it's focuses on LGBTQIA plus seniors. And I'm like,
Nice.
how cool. So you can definitely have fun with it and niche it up. I love that.
We talked about it a lot, calling it like something like rock and roll seniors or something, and like, hey, listen, we're not gonna play any of that soft music. There's rock music all day. Bands
Yeah,
coming in. We're Colorado. Here's all the pot you guys want. Go back to being in your 60s. Be a hippie.
I love it. I love it. You probably have a waiting list out the door.
Oh my god. Probably. And I'm like, if I was in a place like that, I'd want some like disco and like
Yeah,
something that takes me back to the days.
yeah.
So that's fun. All right. So now I love the fact that you have 10 bed, 10 bath houses. These are like bougie houses.
They're big luxury upscale homes. Yep, yep.
Okay. So I like that. So we have like bougie seniors. And then with the assisted, do you guys take them? So you own More than one.
Three of them. And then we've taught thousands at this point now, 10 years in the business of teaching others how to do this all across the country. So thousands of students, which represent thousands of other residential assisted living homes across the country. It's not a franchise, so I don't own any of their properties.
Okay,
All
you
I do.
have to see. I really like that because, like, I'm 65, and so I'm coming up on that age, like the boomers. Like all the boomers are dying, and but the thing is, we're all getting older, but we were really active when we were younger, and nobody wants to be like tied down until I don't know. I don't know. I know for me, like all my friends, we also party and go out and go dancing and like all the
Yeah,
stuff. So I feel like that's a really big industry for people
yeah.
worldwide. Because how many? There's like how many? Like 70 million boomers or something.
Yeah, I think it's 74 million boomers. And definitely, I mean, like I always say, we're still 10, 20 years out from most boomers even needing assisted living because
Uh-huh.
the reality is you don't move in for fun. You move in because you physically need help getting out of bed. You need help walking. You can no longer toilet or bathe by yourself. You can't feed yourself. And so that's when you need true assisted living care. You need help with 3 to 5 activities of daily living. So right now, the boomers are not really in assisted living. It's more of the silent generation who's
That's for my
currently,
mom. She's 87.
yep. But in the next 10, 20 years, it's the silver tsunami, right? They're
That's
coming
it.
and we
That's
can't
us.
stop
The
it.
boomers. That's right. They better get ready. They're not going to know what happened when all the boomers start rolling in.
Exactly. Well, there's a massive need. We're currently 1.3 million beds short today,
Wow.
and there's only 44 million in the silent generation. So we're almost doubling the amount of seniors who are coming into this particular market, and there's not enough beds. So it's a big opportunity for real estate investors to start looking at this as a category to actually start investing in.
I agree. I actually agree. So I come to you and I say, "Hey, I heard you on Dwan's podcast. I would like to have one of these."
Yeah.
So, do I have to get certified? Do I have to own buildings? What do I have to do with no experience at all? And I'm like, I've got money and I want to do that.
I love it. So the first thing I would always say in any form of real estate you want to do, find a mentor and get educated. Learn all of
100%
the
agree.
steps. Yep.
All my people know you learn from mistakes or mentors. Mentors are cheaper.
Yep.
I
Yep.
preach it
Absolutely.
weekly. It's like, listen, pay somebody else that already knows how to do it. You don't need to
Yep.
reinvent the wheel. The wheel's already there.
Yep.
I'm from someone that's already done it. So you're the wheel
There
and
we
you're
go.
the
So
mentor. And I
it
come to you and
gets
I'm okay, I've got $500,000 and I want to make an assisted living
yep.
for people.
Perfect. So after that's settled, when you have someone that you're working with, then I would say deciding on which of the 4 routes you want to get started with. So
Okay.
first you could buy a home and renovate it to become an assisted living home. Next, you could buy land and custom build from the ground up.
Hmm.
Third, you could lease a home to use for this. So use a home that someone else already has renovated for it, and you're just going to operate the business within the home. Or fourth, 30,000 group homes exist across our country today. And a lot of them are being run mom and pop style, about
Yeah.
80%, where the person who owns the real estate also works in the home and cares for the seniors themselves.
Yeah.
There's about a 7 to 8 year lifespan when they say, I'm starting to burn out and I don't want to do this anymore. So those businesses come onto the market. And so you may be able to purchase an existing business with the real estate and be up and running right away, running it as a more professional business owner, hands off, not working in, but working on the business. So
All right, I
those
like
four
it. So buy and renovate, buy land and build one, lease something, or find a group home that's already up on the market. Perfect.
exactly. Yep.
Okay, so I call you and I'm like, okay, we're gonna buy and renovate.
There you go. So now it's all about finding that perfect location. We're looking for the demographics of daughter Judy, which is actually funny because it's somewhat of you, Dwan. Like it's that 50 to 70-year-old who's upper middle class, possibly making twice the median income. It's wherever they live, eat, work, sleep, play, because they don't want mom or dad 45 minutes down the road. They want them 5 to 10 minutes. They want them really close to where they are so they can go visit, they can go say hello. So that is our target market. So
Yep,
then we're
that's me.
finding Yep, exactly. We got to find that location. Um, and that is the key. Then once you get the home, we're renovating it to be up to code with all of your state or county rules and regulations, which it varies all across the country. But typically we're looking for 300 to 500 square feet per resident. Most of your seniors are going to want a private bedroom and a private bathroom. They don't want to share. They are coming from their own home where they've owned the whole home. Now they're coming, into a shared environment, but they don't want to share their bedroom. So as many private bedrooms and bathrooms as we can. So
Yep.
renovating the home to be up to code, whether that's adding sprinklers or fire suppression, widening hallways, doorways, adding ramps, guardrails, handrails. It doesn't have to be ADA compliant, but you want it as close to that as possible. So
Okay.
that's your next step.
That's kind of like my mom. I think her place, it's not very big. It's maybe like 400 square feet, but she has her own bed, her own bath, but there's no kitchens. There's no
Mm,
kitchens
yeah.
because I think people,
They
forget
want to have that socialization.
and
Yeah.
they want them to go out and eat with everyone. So she has everything but a kitchen, which at first she's like, oh. And I was like, Mom, just give it a try. If you hate it, we'll find another place. But it's
Yeah.
really hard to get her in. I just happened to know a guy that knew the owner, like of the thing. And we got her right in there. And now after like a week, she's like, okay, well, I really like it. And now she's got like best friends. She's got guys that come to her door and walk her to dinner. It's like, look
I
how
love
cute.
it.
And apparently there's a crazy amount of like sex and stuff going on at these places.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God.
They
What?
say that
What?
that
That's what they told me. They said it's like college dorm for seniors.
they say that in the independent communities it is like that, and I think that is too funny. By the time they're in our homes, if they need help getting out of bed, there's not much of that going on. But
Well,
um,
probably not, but my mom's place, I'm telling you why, there's like, it feels like it's a party all the time.
yeah, just because you get old doesn't mean you're not attracted to people. So that doesn't stop as you age.
I know. I always thought like, hey, I'm old, you don't care. But my mom like puts on her lipstick, she fixes her hair, she puts on jewelry to go out to the lunchroom because there are men out there.
I love it. She's the hot commodity.
87, she's a hot commodity, and she's super pretty. So
Oh.
she's a hot commodity. Okay, so I have it. I renovate it, and then do I have to have licenses? Like, what do I need? Because I just have money and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. So the physical home will get a license based on those renovations that you had to do to get it approved through the state. So the physical home will get that stamp of approval once you've got it all ready to go. Then you're going to go ahead and hire a licensed administrator. That
Okay.
is who's going to be running all of the day-to-day within your home. They are going to hire and fire your caregivers, make sure that they show up and that the schedule is done, the payroll's done. They're going to market the home so that new seniors come into the home, right? So they'll do the tours with the residents, or as someone passes on, they'll make sure, that the family has everything that they need and then refill that bed. And they're really running all of the whole shenanigans within the home, whether it's a private chef and activities, whatever the case is, they run all the day to day. So that's your key hire, is your licensed administrator.
Okay.
They hire your licensed caregivers who do the day-to-day work with the seniors. So they're doing, all of that direct care with the residents. So you don't necessarily have a license. The home does, the administrator does, the caregivers do, but not you. And that's kind of how it works.
I love that part too because, if someone my age, like you said, like the daughters and the sons are like, hey, but if I know a lot of people my age that are interested in investing in things like that
Yeah,
because, we're not that, I mean, we're still a ways off.
you got time. You got
However, you just never know. She can happen. Next thing you know, like, you need an assisted place. And if it was ever me personally, I would definitely want to be like in a more group setting than in a big giant place that's got like 4 floors and it feels like it's a hospital. I would hate that.
Yeah, it's true.
I,
And
I would
we
hate
started because my grandmother needed care. And so we needed to find a place for her. But when my dad started this whole business, he said, this is not only a solution for grandma, it's a solution for me and your mom if we ever need this. And then I
that.
get to leave my kids a cash flowing business, and it
Yeah,
can stay in the family and everyone just cash flows off of it and has a place to go if and when they ever need it. So
yeah.
it is kind of a good solution in that regard.
And I like that too because it helps to build generational wealth. Like your dad started it. then you have it, then your kids have it, then da da da. And that's what my husband and I are all about. We own a bunch of buildings in Iowa, commercial buildings in Iowa, and we have all three of our kids involved. All of our little grandkids have candy machines and little things they have to run and maintain and take care of. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, it's all about like building generational wealth, because once you get it going, you
Yeah.
can change the entire dynamics of your family from my great great grandfather to my great great grandkids. It'll be a staggering difference.
Yep. I love that. You have to be the start of that change if you want to see it. And doing anything like you're saying, like, with the larger commercial buildings, it's like whatever you want to do, real estate's such an amazing way to create that generational wealth and be able to pass it down because it's really, if you're thinking about it in that regard, that long-term hold, it's really the only thing that we can count on is
Yeah,
something physical, right? Because the dollar is not going to be the same. You could save 1 million now and pass it to the grandkids, and it won't be 1 million then.
yeah,
It's
they
not
all
going
blow it.
to, or that, or
I
that,
think
right?
doesn't it usually go like the people, like the parents like me and Bill, create the wealth. Our kids kind of keep it going, and the grandkids blow it because they didn't have to work for it. So it's like, no, my grandkids, they're only 2, 4, 7, and 9. And when we go to Iowa, they have to clean their machines, they have to help, they have to do all, like I'm like, listen, y'all are gonna work. So
Yeah.
if anybody's gonna blow it, it's gonna be the kids after you guys.
At least you won't be around to see it, right?
I know. It's like, oh man, I'd be so devastated after we own like most of this little downtown that we're kind of revitalizing this downtown. I said
Yeah.
my heart would be so broken if like 50 years from now it was back to being like just a junk hole.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully
Like, man,
the
if happy work hard for you guys, you better keep going. But
yeah.
Bill and I'm from Ohio and he was from Iowa. And we were raised, like we graduated high school in the 70s. And back then it was like, get a job, work at a factory, get married, have kids.
Yeah.
Like that's what you did.
Yeah.
And so we're the first two people in our entire family on both sides, the only two that ever became millionaires and through real estate. I'm like, well, my kids are not going to know any other way, and my grandkids are definitely not going to know any other way. And should I be blessed enough to meet the great greats, they're never going to know any other way too, because someone has to start.
Someone has to start. Yep. You've got to be that change, especially if that's not how you were raised. I'm very, very blessed that, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I grew up with a dad with that mentality of even if he didn't have a lot of money at the time, he had the mentality of
Yep.
you make your dreams come true and you are the one in control of your destiny. Don't work to build someone else's dreams. What's your vision for life? And let's
Yep.
make that come to fruition because betting on yourself is truly the only way that you're actually going to win in life.
It
And
is.
so being raised with that mentality, absolutely, I view the world differently than many of my even friends do because they
Oh,
had
yeah.
parents who were 9 to 5 and worked for the man. And so it's a beautiful thing. My dad discouraged me from going to college. He was like, waste of time, do not go, and it's just so funny that that's literally, it's such a mindset. It actually doesn't matter how much money is in the bank. It's a mindset. And it's so important to raise your kids like that because if that's what you want for them, then you
Yeah.
have to change the way they think.
Now, can I ask how old are you?
I am 33.
Okay, so you are the age of my children. I have
Yeah.
my son is 32, my daughter's 35, one of them's 36. You're a millennial. So all
Yep.
three of them, they've always just worked for themselves. It's like, hey, listen, don't get a job. There's no man to work for. Like in my dad's day, working for a factory was a good thing. I mean, Ohio and Michigan, General Motors, cars were going crazy. People worked 30, 35 years and retired at 60 with really good amount of money. But it's like, but then my generation came along and all those places went bankrupt and out of business. And now there's no working for the man because there's a million companies and nobody keeps you. And when you get this age, they get rid of you for someone younger who will work for less.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I was just like, so I actually did though. I actually did get a factory job right after high school. I thought, well, okay, get married, get a factory, da da da. I worked in this factory for like 2 weeks. I thought, oh my God, I'm only 18. I've never been in a factory. It's 1977. I'm like, why would my parents want me to work in this godforsaken hellhole? It's boiling hot. It's June. It's the dead of the summer. It's concrete floors. There's no air conditioning, just fans. You're standing all day. And after a week or two, I was like, oh God, if has to be my life now, like kill me now. So about 6 weeks in, the boss came onto the floor one day. They had all these pink slips in his hands, and I mean, everyone got silent. Now I'm really young. It's my first job. I'm like, what's happening? And this girl next to me, she goes, oh my God, they're giving out pink slips. I was like, what does that mean? She goes, that means they're going to lay people off. I was like, what does that mean? She goes, it means people are going to get laid off and lose their job. And I was like, oh. Then I was like, oh, Jesus, please, please, please give me a pink slip. I'm begging you, give me a, I was like begging. So they started walking my way. I was like, oh, please give me one of those. And I did because I was a newer hire. And I was so excited. I was like, woo! And then I noticed, it's funny because it didn't even hit me till years later. There was a woman I worked next to who was in her 40s, and she was devastated. I was like, why are you devastated? This is a hellhole. She's like, I'm a single mom. I got 3 kids. This is my job. I'm like,
Yeah.
go get a better job. Why would you want? So being 18 and not having a lot of sympathy and not understanding the world, I can't understand why she's upset.
Yeah.
Like,
That is an
wow, go
amazing
be
story.
free. But for me, I go, my dad, I got a pink slip. Oh my God. Because, I was raised, you can't quit. Your word, your work ethic. And I was so happy. But
Oh,
I actually moved. I said, I'm moving to Florida. I'm moving out of state. So I don't want to be anywhere where there's near a factory where I could get sucked into it. So I actually moved out of state. That's how bad I didn't want to do it.
I love that story.
But in hindsight, I feel sorry for that woman because I get it now. I mean, I was too young. She's single. She's got kids. This is her job. She was devastated. I was just like, woohoo, see you suckers later. And I'm out the door, man. I was so excited.
That's
I told my
amazing.
kids, you are never doing that.
Yep, absolutely.
Never. Are you enjoying this episode? Make sure you don't miss a single solitary episode. Click subscribe, like, follow, all the things so you'll get notifications whenever time a new show comes out. And let your friends know about it too. It's amazing. All right, so if you want to learn more about real estate investing, just reach out to dwanderful.com. I'll send you some free stuff. Back to the show. So I have one of these. So you have 3 that you personally own, and then you
Yep.
teach other people.
Yep.
And so what would that look like? Am I getting some hand holding? Am I going into some sort of coaching? You're obviously going to give me paperwork and tell me what I need to do and how to be successful and oversee my purchase and things like that.
Yeah, so we have an online training as well as an in-person training in Phoenix, Arizona.
All right.
And we're basically showing real estate investors, medical professionals, whomever who wants to get started in this industry, all 4 of those routes, how to go down them, right? How to find the property, how to market the property, how to hire your staff, what you're going to need to do to get the property up to code, how to host your open house and build those relationships to fill your beds, right? All the raising of the capital in the meantime, because a lot of people don't want to use their own money for investing these days. They want to use OPM. And so
Yeah.
it's important to learn, the different ways to raise the capital, what you need in your business plan and your pro forma, how to protect your assets, all that good stuff. So we educate people on all those different steps, really A to Z. And then we show them examples. We drive them by our homes when you come to Phoenix, and as well as show you virtual tours of what the homes look like from the inside out. And I'm not the only one there educating in our training. We actually have about 8 other team members who were past students who sat in the class, got their homes up and running, and now they're back to kind of teach and educate and help people along the way. And so it's a lot of fun. We have a great time, and we host those about 8 times per year, always in Phoenix. And we actually have one this weekend, so I'm really excited.
Girl,
It's always
next time I come to Phoenix, I'm coming to see you, and we're going to
let's
go
do it.
stroll through some places because I feel like that would be something that Bill and we've talked about off and on for a decade. I feel like that's
Yeah.
something we would enjoy having,
Yeah, absolutely.
especially for like boomers.
Yeah, there you go. I love it.
I don't know. I feel like that, but it's really needed because, like you said, I wouldn't want my mom at 87 to be in some type of hospital vibe kind of place
Yeah,
after she's lived this great free life. I would want her to be someplace smaller and more intimate and she gets more attention and more care, and I mean that's what I
Abs-
would want for
Absolutely.
my parents. And so I feel like, and I know a lot of people just like, let's put them wherever they have to go. And also things like that weren't available. My uncle was quite a bit older, and when he got into his 80s, he had to live at I don't know what it's called. Maybe it's assisted living, but they had two people in a room.
It might have been, we don't do any shared bedrooms, but
Yeah.
if it was
And
like more low
And
income,
I
it might.
hated that, but the place he was at, because of the amount of work he needed, and the money he had, and just all that, he didn't have a lot of money, and it had to be like some Medicaid involved and some things like that. And here's this guy that's kind of traveled and been free, and he used to be like in the boxing. He used to have little amateur boxing teams and all this really fun stuff. And I hated that he ended up living in a place that was so sterile and like
Yeah.
didn't feel like a home.
Oh yeah, we unfortunately most of our residents come from big boxes. They had terrible experiences with neglect or abuse or just not getting the socialization and the, quality care that they need and that they deserve. And so they're looking for alternative options. And so that's when they kind of come to us. And the problem is that the Brookdale has $1 million, dollar marketing budget. And so when you search assisted living in my area, that's the first one that comes up, those big box facilities. And so these smaller care homes, we just don't rank as high on SEO, and we look like a regular residential home. And so
Yes,
when you drive by, you don't even know it's an assisted living. It's
yes.
not, the big sign out front. And so we are competing against them. But honestly, we find that most of our residents come from bad experiences over there and they say, I have to find something better. And so when we're able to provide that love and that quality care and attention, it's a drastic difference for sure.
I love what you do. I really do love that, because that's how I feel too. I feel like the seniors, when people, the older they get, I feel like people sometimes kind of like, they get sort of forgotten. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, listen, those people raised you and changed your diapers and took care of you. You gotta take care of them at the end. You can't just throw them in some place and just like, oh, I'll see you twice a year. Like, that's not right.
It's not right. Nope,
But people
nope.
do.
Gotta make it. We have to have more options for our seniors. We
Yeah,
need
we
more
do.
beds and we need more quality people who care and want to make an impact in this industry. So it's so important for sure.
So if I'm working with your company, I can buy one of these or build one or whatever in any state.
Yeah, actually 31% of care home owners are remote owners. So they own a home in a state that they maybe do not live in. My homes are about 40 minutes, 45 minutes away from where I live. And I like that distance because it's just enough that I don't want to go visit every day, because then that forces you to be more hands-on. Once you're there, you're, now, oh, let me do this, let me do that, let me be in here. I want it to be a little bit inconvenient so that I'm not going there every day working in the business. So I
Yeah,
visit them maybe every other month and just swing by to say hello and make sure the roof's not on fire.
that's it. I really love that too. And there's so many. The little town that we buy properties is called Clinton, Iowa. And back in, I don't know, the day, I guess the silent generation day, they had more millionaires living in that little area because they were all lumber barons.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
the railroad, because it's around the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
So the railroads came by with all the lumber, and there's all these giant, beautiful mansions. I mean,
Wow.
beautiful. And people have turned them into apartments now, but there's so many absolutely stunning, and some of them have like 10 bedrooms. I told Beth, we should buy a couple of these, man. They're
Oh,
gorgeous and they're beautiful, and they have all the old woodwork and the big spiral staircases. And it's like, oh,
hmm.
so pretty. You just saw back in the day, it was like so fancy.
That's amazing. That sounds beautiful. I'm about to start Zillowing those.
Oh, there's so many. And a couple of them have been fixed up, and they do like tours and such, and they
Yeah.
have it decorated like for the time period. And it's like, oh, people lived so fancy back then. Not like everyone's, well, I shouldn't talk. I'm wearing like a hoodie today. So it
But it is different. It is different, right?
is
Like
different.
the world is a lot lazier in the way we present ourselves in our homes, right? Even I read this article that millennials are getting rid of the front room and the guest room, right? Like we're making our homes like there's no like formal sitting area. And that was such a thing back in the day.
Oh gosh, yeah.
you had to have like that fancy room where you sat, and you were quiet. And now it's just, we just live such a different life these days. So whether it's fashion or home styles or all sorts of stuff. So it is very different.
Oh, when I go on stage now, I mean, I started off, I always wore suits and like that's what people wore. Then I was like, you know what? I don't want to wear suits. I don't want to do all that. Like I'm a girl. I want to wear like jeans and like a sweater. So I just started showing up in like my cowboy boots, my jeans and a sweater. People were like, you gonna speak in that? I was like, yeah, I feel better. I'm more comfortable and I don't like wearing suits. They don't fit me good. My boobies are big. I don't fit right here. This is what I'm wearing.
Yep, there you
I'm
go.
telling you, some of the places I spoke for had meltdowns initially because every single person was still in the suit phase.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, all the guys can wear suits, all the girls can wear fancy dresses and high heels. I'm wearing jeans. So
Yeah.
if you don't want me to come, I won't come, but I want to feel like myself.
I
So
like it, a trendsetter.
it's like, let me tell me what to do. So from the time a person, so you do all the coaching and the mentoring stuff. So I really love that too, because that is something I feel like in a business like this, you really need to have your ducks in a row
Yes.
for lawsuits and things like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to be protected. You have to have all your documentation with the state correct. You need that home renovated exactly how they require you to do it. And you need your licensed staff. I always say slow to hire and quick to fire. If there is any funny business going on, you have to get rid of it ASAP. That's your reputation, your business, and
Yeah.
potentially lawsuits on the line. And these are people's lives. And so it's so important that you put that first. And really, our company motto of doing good and doing well, it's really about that balance. Like if you're just in this for the money, there are other forms of real estate, like
Yeah.
head
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah. I like
Um,
doing good, doing well. Ours is people before profits. If
yeah,
you, I'm mostly buying houses from people that are in foreclosure. They're losing
yeah,
their house. It's like, look, if you can't help them and take care of them and give them a fresh start because you just want to make a bunch of money, you
yeah.
should not be doing this
No,
because
exactly. You've
they're
gotta,
losing their home.
yeah, it's
You need
so
someone
important.
to like, give them some love and help them get started and feel good about themselves again.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I love your heart too. That is really good. Okay, so tell me what is the biggest goal that you still want to accomplish, and how can all of us at Wonderful help you reach your next big goal?
I love it. Our actually 10-year goal, which I think we're like 4 years into when we set this goal, is to positively impact 10 million people by providing high quality assisted living in a residential home environment. So that doesn't necessarily just mean the seniors in the home. It also means the daughter duties, because if your parent has a terrible experience in a big box, you better believe it affects you. And so
Yeah, oh yeah.
so having these homes, it not only impacts the seniors, but their families as well as the care staff. Your caregivers, a lot of them, when they're working in those big box facilities, the reason the care is so poor or subpar is because it's 30 seniors to one caregiver. And
Yes.
that's not okay, right?
Terrible. It's not okay.
It's not okay. So in our homes, it's a 4-to-1 or 5-to-1 ratio, and that's a lot more comfortable for these seniors. So you're also providing the caregivers a better opportunity to do the mission that was on their heart, right? They could work at fast food or somewhere else. They chose to work in senior care. They
Mhm.
love seniors. They want to be in this business. But then when you put them in an environment where it's 30-to-1 and they're rushed through their day, a lot of what they want to do gets thrown out the window because they're
Yep.
trying to meet metrics. And that's a systemic problem. That's not a caregiver problem. It's a problem at the top that's trickling down to the bottom. And so
Yep.
in our homes, we can provide that opportunity for the seniors, for the families, and the caregivers. So all the listeners, if they want to, help join that mission of positively impacting 10 million people with RAL, either putting your loved one in a care home instead of a facility when they need that option,
Yeah.
or just promoting them when, you hear of someone in your life who needs this, you say, hey, have you considered a local residential assisted living home instead of the big box, or opening your own, of course.
Yes. I love it. Okay. So 10 million people. That's the goal. All right. So all you wonderful people out there, you got to get busy and help do this and spread the word. But having like my dad's alive, my aunts, both my three of my aunts are alive. My one aunt's 97
Yeah.
and she still lives at her house, but her daughter moved in with her, Wanda. She still walks 2 miles a day. It's like, how
Wow.
cute is she? And my mom's 87, my other aunt is 85, and they all still get out and they do stuff. And, and my dad's 86, yeah. And it's like, they're all someplace really amazing or still able to be at home and with some help at home and stuff like that. And I think that's really the best way because, we don't want our parents to go out in some horrible situation where like 30 to 1, like you can't take care of people like that, and especially assisted. They need help with the bathroom, the shower, they need help.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's so important. And it sounds like you've got a lot of longevity in your family. So
I do. That's why
that's
I
an,
told Bill, I said, listen, my Aunt Dora was 101 when she died, and she lived by herself till she was 99. And my Aunt
wow.
Wanda's 97, my mom is 87, Sonia's 85, and that's on my mom's side. On my dad's side, he was the youngest of a bunch of kids, so all of them lived into their 80s, and my grandfather into his 90s. I'm like, girl, I'm gonna live to be 100.
There we
And
go.
when I do want to live someplace, I'm gonna make sure it's like bougie.
I love it. I
I'm
love it.
bougie till the day I die. Okay, so let's jump some topics. Tell me, what is your favorite band of all time?
Oh, can I go singer instead of
Yeah.
band?
Yes.
This is silly and probably embarrassing, but I love Pitbull. I love
No,
some
girl.
fun poppy Pitbull.
Let me tell you something. I have a house in Florida. I've been in Florida since for the last 45 years.
Yeah.
Everyone down there loves Pitbull. He's like
Yeah.
around, he's out, his music, he's so sexy. My husband's like, I don't get it. I'm like, oh, honey, you
Yeah.
have to be a girl to get it. Pitbull is like,
His songs are great when you're working
ah,
out, when you're running around. They always put you in a good mood. I love it.
now we have the Dish TV and it has all those Sirius radio channels. There's a Pitbull channel.
Yep,
And so when
yep.
Bill's at home, I'm just like walking around. Boop, 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 boop. Like, what you listen to? I'm like, dude, it's Pitbull. So he
Yeah.
doesn't get it as a guy. I'm like, listen, there's no woman on earth that doesn't think Pitbull is like, and besides that, his music is great. And he's a
Very
really nice guy.
He's really nice. Yep, I agree.
No,
So,
nothing to be embarrassed about, girl. He's like one of my low key crushes. It's like, oh, if I wasn't married and I ran into hip hop, I'd be like, how you feel about older women?
I like it. That's awesome.
I love all dance music. At heart, I love anything dance. What's your favorite food? What do you like to eat?
Oh, I love a
Favorite.
good steak. I'm a steak girl.
And then what's your favorite time? What's your favorite part of your day? All throughout the day, where's your place where you're like, oh, this is great?
I just had my first baby, my son, just 10 weeks ago, and I'm really enjoying I already loved mornings. I was always a morning girl, but I'm loving my mornings with him. There's nothing like waking up and just seeing that cute little face. So mornings for sure.
Oh, what's your baby's name?
Hendrix.
Hendrix. Oh, that's so cute.
Mhm.
Is this your first baby?
Yes.
Oh, see, I had my first at 30. So now in my day, 30 was like old to be having kids, but the millennials are like 30, 35, 37, all having babies. It's like, okay. So I was like trailblazing back then because I don't have no babies when I'm 20 years old. I'm gonna wait till I'm 30. But
Yep.
babies are the best. I'm gonna tell you something, girl. I know everybody tells you this, but they grow so much faster than you can ever get over. Like
Mm,
they're so little and then they're crawling and then they're walking. Like, oh my God, what happened? It
mm,
goes so fast.
yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. It's so fun to watch him every day just grow and learn more skills every day.
Oh, and they're smiling and giggling and laughing and just, oh, I know.
So cute.
I love babies. And when I had all my grandbabies, I was like, oh, you forget like how much you love babies.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had one for a long time. It's like, oh my God. Okay, so when I come to Phoenix, we're gonna go listen to some pit bull and eat some steaks.
There you go. I'll take you out.
That's okay. Okay, so one more time, because I want everything in the show notes. Tell people how to reach you.
Yeah, you can find us on any of the social medias at RAL Academy or check out RAL101.com.
All right. So first of all, I just want to thank you for coming on. You are just like a ball of sunshine. So I really
Oh,
enjoyed talking to you today. What you do, I am so on board with what you do. And my husband and I talk about this often, and I'm like, you know what? now that I know you, it's like I know where to go when I'm ready to do this because it's just I don't know. I feel like it's something that I just want to do this at some point,
Yeah, I
and
love it.
maybe have a nice place for my own self too.
There we go. You
I'm
let me
planning
know
on
when
just like rocking and rolling and just dropping dead. So
we don't want that.
that's my plan. I'm gonna rock and roll till I'm like 100 and then just poo poo. But should that not be my path, I would like to. If I had to be an assistant, I would want to be someplace where I felt a little more special and people knew me and I knew everybody. I didn't feel like I was in some strange environment.
Absolutely.
That's what I like about what you guys do. So that's really amazing. All right, so folks, if you're new, I want you to do me a favor. If you had fun today, if you laughed, if you learned anything at all, I want you to subscribe, the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and write something and say how amazing I am and how amazing Isabel is. Follow me on all the socials. Everything is wonderful. So YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, LinkedIn, all the stuff. It's really easy. And if you opt in at any of those, you will get a free ebook on how to wholesale houses, flip your way to a fortune. Okay, so now the hardest part of the day is I want you to leave us with a parting word of wisdom, but just a single word.
Oh, a single word. Inspire.
Okay, I love it. See, I never tell anyone until because they'll be thinking about their word while we're talking. And see, you do, like, you can read they look up and you're like, you think it's like inspire. Inspire is a great word, and so everyone that watches me on the regular knows that when they hear the word inspire from you, that is their word of the week. So they're supposed to focus on the word inspire, but we wanna know what it means to you.
Lately I've just been thinking I love that I'm able to inspire people to start businesses that make an impact. And if anything, if I could be anything in this world, I would love to just be a fleck of inspiration in people's lives to help them do something that they've wanted to do or that they've thought about, whether it's assisted living or something else. I just love helping people when they come with a dream, when they come with a vision, talk through it and say, let's take it to that next level. And so I want to be an inspiration more in a day-to-day life. So that's why I think inspire came to my mind. It's been on my heart and my mind lately.
See, now you got a chance to tell all of us what it means to you. And everyone, that's what that means to Isabel. So, what does inspire mean to you? So, today's word of the week, inspire. And I love that word too, because part of the reason I teach is I like to see people change their finances. I like to see people build generational wealth. I like to see people that had these jobs they hated, own their own business in any facet at all of real estate investing. So I also feel inspired to want to help other people because if I had followed my given path, I'd be working in a factory.
Yeah.
It's like, can you imagine me working in a factory? I am not a factory girl.
No, you're not.
I am just not. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for being on. We'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Again, thank you so much for spending your time with us today. We really, truly appreciate it. And you have a baby now. So I
Yeah.
always tell people, time is your most valuable asset. And younger people, when you're 20s, you're like 10 foot tall and bulletproof. But when you start having kids, you realize time passes really quickly. So I always appreciate that you took an hour out of your day to be with us over here at Wonderful. So thank you for that. And remember, everybody, that the truth is in the red letters. Okay, we'll talk to you next week. Ciao. Bye, everyone. Have a good week. Make something happen. You just had a taste of the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. So just one more thing before you go. If you laughed, if you learned something, please leave a 5-star review. Don't be a gatekeeper. Share it with everyone that you know. And I'll see you back here next week for the most wonderful real estate podcast ever.